For question 10C, there is an examination skill that you must remember before your DSE. As I have actually mentioned for many times, if the question asks you to refer to the sources, then you have to refer to the sources one by one. There are source A, B, and C. Please respond to each of the source so as to get the full marks. Don't respond to one or two of the sources, please. And let me tell you how to tackle this question. For source A, this is about the number of tourists, right? And clearly this is about goods or services. Always about services, and that's why you should mention the invisible trade for source A. Source B is about the tariff. The tariff will affect the export and also the import, maybe export or import. And somehow this will affect the visible trade, right? And then the last one, the deposit, would be actually related to the capital flow that I will tell you on the next page why it is related to capital flow rather than the other one. Say, for example, current transfer. So let me go to the boxes below. So to explain why some of your answers are not correct. Some of your answers are not correct. The first type of mistake is like this. So you know that from source A, this is related to the number of tourists, right? Then you know this is related to invisible trade. However, some of you mentioned something like that. We have the subsidy, right? So source A mentioned something about the subsidy. We have the subsidy. Then the subsidy will actually increase the number of tourists, and both the export and import of services would increase. Is that correct? As I've mentioned before, this is a mistake. This is not correct. Why this is not correct? Because the question is not about the effect of the subsidy. But what is it about? It is about the effect of the protest, right? You need to think about the impact of the protest rather than the subsidy. The subsidy will lead to more tourists, but the protest will lead to a drop or the increase of the protest. Of course, a drop in the number of tourists, right? And that's why if you are talking about the impact of the protest, then you should tell me that the number of tourists decreases and maybe the export and the import of service both decrease as a result. Then let me go to mistake 2. Mistake 2 is about source C. Source C is about the deposit. Some of you may disagree with what I have circled here. You may wonder, I transfer the money from Hong Kong to Singapore. This is somehow a current transfer because we have the remittance. However, let me ask you this question. So if we purchase bonds in foreign country, then should it be counted in current transfer or capital flow? It should be counted in the capital flow because somehow we are making the investment. We lend the money to those foreign companies hoping to receive the interest in the future. And somehow if I lend money to foreign people, this is counted as an investment and in capital flow, right? And that's why if we withdraw the money from the banks in Hong Kong and deposit into the banks in Singapore, somehow I am hoping for the interest in the future, right? I'm doing a kind of investment. This is just like buying bonds of foreign companies. I'm lending money to the banks in foreign countries. And then in that case, this is not counted as the current transfer. Instead, it will be counted as capital flow. And that's why don't answer current account or the current transfer. So you should answer capital flow. Then the next mistake, some of you, your answers are a little bit better. You know that this is about capital flow. But you mentioned something like that, because of the protest, fewer foreign investors will invest in Hong Kong. And that's why capital inflow decreases. This is not acceptable. Because if you look at source C, from source C, we know that the investor invests less in Hong Kong. Is that really true? So we don't know. So we know that actually the people are withdrawing money from Hong Kong. somehow they withdraw their investment. They are not going to invest less. They are withdrawing their existing investment from Hong Kong. And that's why in that case, I will say that the investor withdraw the money from Hong Kong instead of investing less in Hong Kong. And that's why I won't say capital inflow decreases, but instead what I will say is that I will say that there is capital outflow. The money is flowing out of Hong Kong. So this is what you need to answer.